मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी प्रोफेसर रूबी मिश्रा मैम को, जो पूरे कार्यक्रम की जो रिपोर्ट है उसको पढ़ेंगी। मैम, आई वेलकम यू टू द स्टेज। थैंक यू।
साथ में मैं अपनी सहसाथी कन्वीनर प्रोफेसर वर्षा बवेजा को मंच में आने के लिए आग्रह करूंगी। प्लीज मैम मंच पे आके बैठिए। सवेरे एक श्लोक बोला था जब दीप प्रज्वलन हुआ था, विद्याम च अविद्याम च यस्त द्वेदो भयम सह अविद्याया मृत्युम त्रित्वा विद्याया मृत मुष्णुते। यही एक थॉट है जो स्वामी विवेकानंद जी कहते हैं, ऑल द नॉलेज दैट द वर्ल्ड हैज एवर रिसीव्ड कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड। सो वो जो पर विद्या की बात है, सब कॉन्शियस माइंड की बात है, और एक अलग तरीके के नॉलेज सिस्टम जिसको एक अलग तरीके से बात रखने की बात है, और वही इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम और योगिक जो परंपरा है उसकी एक छवि मैं शिक्षा नीति में देखती हूँ। और मुझे किसी ने कहा था कि बहुत बड़ा ये टॉपिक रखा है, पर ये टॉपिक अब 2 साल से इम्प्लीमेंट हो गया, मतलब आ गया है और इम्प्लीमेंट भी हो गया है। चैलेंज वही है जो हमारे माननीय कुलपति जी ने भी कहा और सभी स्पीकर्स ने यही कहा कि इम्प्लीमेंटेशन चैलेंजेस, एंड उसमें क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज आती हैं एंड प्रोबेबल आउटकम तो हम अभी नहीं देख पाएंगे। मैं सही कह रही हूँ, आने वाली हमारी जनरेशन उसको देखेगी। अगर सही तरीके से जो इसका भाव है शिक्षा नीति का वो लागू होगा तो वो हमारे बच्चे उससे उसका लाभ उठा पाएंगे। तो देशबंधु कॉलेज, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली organized national conference on national education policy, implementation, challenges, opportunities, and probable outcome, with the special reference to University of Delhi. Today itself, that is 14th May, the event commenced by invoking Almighty by lamp lightning and swasti vachan, followed by introduction of guest and felicitation by Professor Rajiv Aggarwal, our principal. He talked about the history and latest development in the college. He mentioned that for the holistic development of education, there is a need of new education policy. Also, he outlined the vision and mission of National NEP 2020. Welcome address was given by Shri R.N. Vats ji, और उनका जज्बा जो सुबह से हमारे साथ बैठे हैं और अभी भी आज बैठे हैं सर, हमारे साथ पूरे वैलिडेटरी सेशन में बैठे हैं। तो he introduced about the conference. He emphasized the need of conference to attain the vision and foresight of NEP, and also attain the 5 pillars: access, equity, challenges. Thereafter, Professor Varsha Baweja, convener of the conference, briefly introduced about the conference. She also talked about the accountability up to 2030, so as to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society and global knowledge power. Today's guest of honors, who can else forget the talk given by, mesmerizing talk given by Professor Shri Prakash Singh, Director, South Campus. He addressed the gathering and expressed his views about the character building, giving respect and spending quality time with parents, which was the part of our culture and ancient education system. He mentioned that there is a requirement of value-added education and skill-based courses where the role of NEP comes into picture. Delhi University has a potential and resources, and he emphasized this point that Delhi University and mainly the Delhi University has the potential and resources to be able to do that and give an example to whole nation. Our chief guest, Professor Yogesh Singh, Vice-Chancellor, University of Delhi. उन्होंने तो समा ही बांध दिया, and he addressed the gathering and underlines the relevance and importance of NEP 2020, which is furthermore applicable to the current scenario. When Delhi University is celebrating the centenary year, Honorable VC Sir stressed upon the role of students and teachers in the growth and transformation of education system. As he rightly said, saying the Robert Frost, that saying of the Robert Frost, मुझे भी बहुत पसंद आया ये, education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing temper or your self-confidence. Professor Yogesh Singh also highlighted the importance of our ancient culture, value system, and mentioned that buddhi, the conscious mind, should be the epicenter of education. He also focused on the collaboration rather than competitiveness, because our purpose should be to design new projects based on teaching, learning process healthier, effective, and more attractive to build a happy and satisfied relationship between teachers and students. And although it is not written, he emphasized that the purpose of his coming would be successful if we think first about the nation and then about rest of the thing. So I would like to mention here. Then the program was furthermore taken up, and the vote of thanks again was given by me. Then at the inaugural ceremony, everybody stood up for national anthem with a great pride. The session was coordinated by Dr. Seema Gupta, co-convenor of the conference. And seeing the huge response of the participants, the technical session was held yesterday, that was 13th May 2022. And technical session began with the welcome of chairperson, co-chairperson, and presenter, followed by brief information about the theme and sub-theme of the conference. The theme one of the session was online and digital education, where there were more than 6 presenters, including Urvashi, Rakhi, Kanak, Nitesh, Rai, Kinari, Jain. The session 2 was focused on 3 themes: access, inclusivity in higher education, importance of regional language, art and culture, National Research Foundation, chaired by Professor Sudhir Pratap Singh and co-chaired by Professor Manoj Kumar Singh. There were more than 12 research papers which were presented in this session. The session was moderated by Dr. Minakshi and Mr. Ashutosh Kumar. The session 3, the topic was IPR in new education policy, professional education and employment, challenges in implementing multidisciplinary plenarity and higher education. Session was chaired by our very own knowledge partner, the Dr. Kanika Malik, who is a principal scientist at CSIR NISPER, and the publication of the selected research article will be published in one of the journal of UGC care listed this journal. The session was co-chaired by Dr. Shailendra Singh Chauhan. Moderators were Dr. Neelmani and Dr. Bharti. The presenters, there were, I cannot name all, but there was total more than 10 presenters here. Another session which was running parallelly was session 4. Theme was implementing national education policy in a federal system, building Indian knowledge system. The session was chaired by Professor Ruchir Gupta from JNU and co-chaired by Dr. Anand Kumar, the faculty in Sanskrit department. Session was moderated by Dr. Abhishek Pratap Singh. Here there were more than research paper of more than 15 research papers. So all the papers presented in all the 4 sessions commended the NEP with the hope that its proper implementation in both letter and spirit will give a new dynamism to the better learning and research ecosystem in India. The session commenced with valuable remarks by chair and co-chair, and with heartfelt gratitude. Approximately more than, again, what Dr. Varsha Baweja said, that more than 50 participants in a different session gave their view. Then we had 2 technical sessions. In the first technical session, we had Professor Ratnabali, the Dean Academic Affairs and Projects, University of Delhi. She although talked about the NEP framework, which is there in the Delhi University, and also she talked about multidisciplinary education, on which government is spending approximately more than crores. It will help students to enhance their knowledge and interest in other discipline. Then the other invited talk was given by Dr. Abhishek Tandon, Deputy Director, ICSSR. He emphasized on family values and also suggested the inclusion of credits towards extraordinary skills and sportsmanship. The session, vote of thanks was given by our a very own dynamic Vice Principal, Professor Kamal Kumar Gupta. And the session was moderated by Dr. Inderkant Singh. The post-lunch session also started with our fourth talk, we can say, that is Professor Payal Magu, the director of College of Open Learning, University of Delhi, and she also heads presently the Shahid Rajguru College of Applied Sciences. So she talked about the linkage of culture with education. DU has also initiated preliminary discussion on 6 skill-based courses. She also mentioned about the requirement of MOU with industry. And that is what is the National Research Foundation also. If we see the document, that also talks about the same thing, that is what industry wants and what we researchers are doing. There should be the linkage between the industry and the researchers. That's why a separate thing, that is National Research Foundation concept, has come in the National Education Policy. Then another talk was given by Professor Haneed Gandhi, a very good friend of mine, the Dean Admissions, University of Delhi. She spoke about multidisciplinarity in NEP 2020. She explained the multidisciplinarity approach in day-to-day life and in ancient mathematics. Then we have our leader of the university. He talked, Professor Ajay Kumar Bhagi. He mentioned about, in his own way, the relevance of policy and their implementation. There is a need of multidisciplinarity. He also said that approach and is much needed and welcomed the step. He welcomed this step. He also discussed about the constituent and autonomous status of the college. Finally, we had this valedictory session is going on. So that is all from my side. I would just end this by saying this, that is, real education is that which enables one to stand on his own legs. So that is also the quote by Swami Vivekanand only. So over to you,